Hello and welcome to this wonderful feast of the Christ the King, the 34th Sunday of the year and the last Sunday of Ordinary Time. Today we adore him as King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and we exalt him as the sovereign ruler of all the universe. In the first reading today, the entire Israelites united in making David king. Why? The reason is simple. They saw him as a worthy servant. He did not impose himself on them. He did not need to waste much money and resources to be chosen or elected. Rather, he was genuinely and unanimously acclaimed as king, as we proclaim Christ our King today. He did not take the honour upon himself, because he knew that, as we read in Hebrews, no one takes this honour unto himself. If we humble ourselves, God will exalt us. In the second reading, Paul reminds us that God has created a place for us in the kingdom that in the kingdom of the Son that he loves. What more do we need? This calls for jubilation. So as we celebrate today, let us know that as we make known the glorious splendour of Christ's reign, we are proclaiming our own reign over the world and its forces. In today's Gospel, Pilate and the Jews ignorantly conspired to castigate Jesus, their king. Rather than accept them, they hardened their hearts to God's call, to share in his kingdom and his glory. Our celebration today is not a mockery as the Jews an unrepentant criminal did. Rather, it is a genuine celebration of the universal reign of our Lord Jesus Christ. Like the Jews of Christ's time, some of us are really carried away by what we see in the present world. Some Jews of Christ's time represent the modern-day materialists who believe that everything ends here on earth. But this is a grave mistake, because the kingdom of this world will pass away, but Christ's reign and kingdom is eternal. Christ, the universal King, is the role model to all kings and rulers, presidents, decision-makers and leaders. He cares, he loves and lives in peace with his people. He does not rule with iron fists and military might or financial strength. He is a good shepherd, a just judge, and a compassionate king. He is the only king who treats us as his brothers and sisters and friends. Christ, our universal King, is divine, yet he shares in our humanity and allows us to share in his kingly and priestly nature. He is ever close, and no special protocols are required to reach him. So, brethren, let us celebrate, because the Lord comes to rule his people with fairness. He will reign forever and will give his people the gift of peace. We are invited to consider how Christ our King is now, and he comes into our lives as a king. He comes but a servant king. I am reminded of the week in which our beloved Queen died back in September, and King Charles came to the throne. His first task that he made for himself was to visit all the national communities which make up the UK. He wanted to build a trusting relationship with some very diverse communities. Jesus is a king who seeks only our good and the good of all. Jesus is a king who guides us from humility, not from power. Jesus has all the power and all the might and all the majesty, but willingly puts all of that aside to become one of us and to sacrifice his life for us. The Gospel of Luke today takes the account of the crucifixion of Jesus, and this is, as we see it, true kingship, dying for the people. So many still do not recognize that leadership, kingship, can be expressed in humility. But power comes in weakness. The true leader dies for his kingdom, for his people. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom.